Welcome back to another video, babes. In today's video, we are talking about the skin. It's been a while since I've kind of updated you on my skin and what's going on. If you are someone who has followed my journey, you will know that I have struggled with persistent cystic acne for years on end now. I would say about 9 years now. It's been very prevalent in my life, and I have tried everything. If you do want to know a little bit more about my past, you can look at some of my other videos, and I will have future videos coming out. But if you're just a little bit more interested in understanding what I have already tried and all that good stuff, because it's a lot, I have previous videos, like I said, on this channel that do cover a lot of that. But in today's video, we are just going to strictly talk about my skin 2+ months post Accutane. So I have been off Accutane for just over 2 months now, and I was on it for 11 months. Keep in mind, this is my second time being on it. So I was on Accutane 2 years ago, and it completely cleared up my skin for a full year, and then it came back the following year, which is why I decided to go on it for my second time. I do have my previous video on my Accutane journey. The first time I was on it for a lot shorter time there. I think I was only on it for like 4 months, but I was on a higher dose. So this time I went lower dose, longer time. It's what I felt was right for my body. Now, coming off Accutane, the reason it's taken me a minute to make this video for all of you, because I know I've had quite a few people reach out to me asking me to do another skin video, but to be honest, I just wasn't comfortable with it. Not because of the way I looked, but because I wanted to really understand what my skin was going to do post Accutane versus just making a video right when I came off of it, because of course my skin is going to be clear right when I get off Accutane. I still have it all in my system, and I needed to see really what was going to happen. And really what happened was about 3 weeks post Accutane, I started to get my oil production back, which isn't fun. I mean, I really enjoyed only having to wash my hair once a week, and now I'm washing it again regularly 2 to 3 times a week. So my oil is all coming back in, which means the Accutane is finally leaving my system, and now we can see what's gonna happen. And let me tell you, stuff did happen. So around that 3-4 week mark, I started to get teeny bumps like all along my jawline here, and this scared the shit out of me. Like, if you are someone who struggles with acne and you have just done Accutane for 11 months, you better believe I was hoping to not see a spot on my face for a long frickin' time. So I had all these teeny bumps here, and it wasn't just like 1 or 2, it was like 10, maybe more. Like, you could feel them. You couldn't see them unless I like angled it, and then you could see that it was like kind of raised. But once again, I was just like, no. At this point, I contemplated going back on Accutane. I was like, I don't know if I can do this again. But then a few things happened. One, which is very weird, and you guys might not find it weird, but I am very into like signs and just believing that the world puts things in their place for certain reasons and everything like that. So one night, me and Jay had just been out for a family dinner. I ate whatever I wanted, which is another thing we'll talk about, because, you know, acne and eating what you want, it's kind of scary. So we were out, I just ate all this food, I had these bumps under my skin, and I was like, not feeling it. So I was like, Jay, I'm just gonna go back on Accutane for a little bit longer, because I still had a few packs left over, because I decided to stop at 11 months, but I was, from my doctor, cleared to keep going for longer. It's just, if I wanted to stop, he said that is more than okay at this point in the stage. So he was like, yeah, okay, cool, sounds good, do it. So I go, I pop open my Accutane, and it falls, and I was like, okay, like whatever, that's just me being silly, I just didn't catch it. But like in my head I was like, kind of felt like a sign, and it fell in just like a really odd spot, like in this teeny little hole of Jeremy's backpack. And like the only reason I searched for it and found it is because I have 2 cats, and I didn't want them to find it and eat it. So I was searching, and I found it, just such a bizarre spot, like really wedged in, and I was like, I don't even know how it got there. So I was like, okay, that's a bit weird. That I went to pop it in my mouth, and as I went to put it in my mouth, I can't make this up, it like flew out of my hand and rolled down into the sink in the carburetor, because I was like standing right here, this is my kitchen counter, and I was like, me and Jay looked at each other, we're just like, oh, like, if that is not a sign to stop taking the freaking Accutane, I don't know what is. Like, do with it what you want, but that was my sign. So I was like, we're just gonna forget that. So I just kept my skincare routine the same. I really didn't want to change up too many variables because, like I said, the biggest variable that I've already changed is getting off Accutane. So if I start changing a bunch of other things, I'm really not gonna know how my body's reacting. So I kept everything the same, and thankfully the bumps disappeared. Now, while I had these bumps, I had also watched a few YouTube videos where people had experienced a similar thing, and I was so thankful for those videos because they made me feel like this was normal and that it would go away versus you now have acne again, right? And that's why I make these videos too, just so that you can relate, and hopefully there's something that you're like, I feel this too. Okay, you've brought me a sense of calm, you've brought me a sense of I'm not alone in this journey. And that's my biggest thing and my biggest purpose for this, is for you to understand that you are not alone. Realistically, what was happening was my body now has oil again. It has not had mass amounts of oil for about 11 months because the high amount of vitamin A that my body was on Accutane, and it didn't know what to do with it. It didn't know how to process it, and that is what was causing those little bumps, is my body just getting used to having oil production again. So I'm so thankful that I just listened to my body, stayed on it, and kept going, because at the end of the day, if I was on Accutane for 11 months, and if I got off of it for 3 weeks and my acne came back, why would I go back on it? Accutane is not working for me. So, settled it there. But what is happening is I do get teeny little spots. So I do get a few, like you can see right here I have one, right here I have one, but it's kind of flat now. So I still do get acne. I wasn't too shocked about this. It happened my first time post Accutane. Some people get off it, they don't really get acne again for a long time. But like I said, I had very cystic acne. I wasn't someone with like lightly severe acne. No, it was severe. So I wasn't too shocked by that. Now, do I wish I didn't have them? Of course. But I'm happy that these 1 or 2, they just go, but I do get at least 1 or 2 a week, but they always go before those next ones come, so that I don't have like 10 going on. They come, they go, they do their things. Another thing is I'm noticing I do get a little bit on my chest again. Not a whole lot, like that's a spot I was picking though. I don't really pick, but my chest, I have a tendency to like do this. So like that is why that's picked, but like my face, I try not to. It's very rare that I actually do now. But yeah, my chest is just like kind of this, and same with like my back, because I do this a lot. So it's kind of just like unconscious. I know it's not great. But my biggest spot that I've been noticing acne the most is my back. And this is actually a spot I really struggled with before, and I didn't share it too much. I'm not sure why. I always just thought my face, because that's what you guys can see. But I did get really bad acne. I'll insert a photo here because I actually have one when I was taking like progress photos of my fitness, and you can see just how bad it was. This was, I think, a month before I got on Accutane, these photos would have been. And on Accutane, my back was completely clear. I didn't have any like really scarring or anything. But now I do have a bit, and I just related to the fact that I sweat a lot. I mean, I work in the fitness industry. I work out daily, so I don't always have time to shower right after my workout classes and stuff. So I don't know. That's what I assume. Let me show you. So as you can see, I do have some like markings here. They're all pretty flat, but they were a little bit acne-like a few weeks ago. So that's all I have right now. It doesn't go lower than that, but that's how that's looking. So overall, a few on the face, a little bit here, a little bit on the back. It does seem to all be clearing right now. Like I said, I'm only 2.5 months post Accutane, so that oil production is still probably trying to figure itself out. But let's do the fun part. So the last time I showed you my skin would have probably been about 4 months ago when I was doing like my skincare routine. So I was still on Accutane and all that good stuff. So let's kind of take a look at what it's looking like right now. So let's start with the left side of my face. So as you can see, I definitely still have some pigmentation. I have that spot I was talking about right here, but this is all relatively very flat. Not even relatively, it is flat. There's nothing here. And then the right side of my face, there we go. Same thing, I have some indentations, more so on the right side, and then more pigmentation. So you can see, like, if I come back a bit, like these are all kind of like indented a little bit. Yeah, like that's flat. That's just pigmentation. So yeah, you can see definitely the indents more on my right side, I would say. And then my forehead is good. I have one little, I don't even think that's a bump. I don't know what it is right now. Overall, my skin is looking good. It's looking very good, okay? Be nice to yourself, Tony. So my skin is looking very good and I'm very happy with it. Like I said, this has no makeup. I have nothing on my skin right now. I actually just washed my face before the video, so that would be a very true representation of what my skin is looking like. 2 months post Accutane. So like I said, I'm still figuring it out. I'm very hopeful, but don't take this as this is my final result, because I don't know if it is. I'm still learning every day what is best for me and my body, and I'm still getting comfortable doing certain things post Accutane. Like when you're on Accutane, I'm very comfortable kind of eating a little bit more risque, like having a little bit more sugar, a little bit more gluten. All these foods are fine in their own way. Gluten for me is just, I'm a bit intolerant to it, so it's not the best. I do notice inflammation when I do eat a lot more like gluten and yeast, so like bread products. And I have had my food intolerance test, so we can talk about that another time, which is how I know that these foods aren't the best for me and my body. I think you'll be able to relate to this, but eating foods like chocolate, processed foods, all that good stuff is scary. Like every time I eat it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna make my acne worse. And I don't know if it does. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. There's lots of different studies out there. It's not like I haven't looked it up, but it depends really who you are. Some people can get away with eating that every day and have beautiful, clear skin, and then other people, it does really affect them. So for someone like myself, food definitely does play a role in how my skin looks. On Accutane, I'm just kind of very lenient. I can eat whatever I want, and I'm not worried because on Accutane, you just don't get acne. So now I'm kind of getting back into that stage where every single time I eat something that I think is going to cause my skin to flare up, I get nervous. And I'm just getting used to that again. So it's something that I know will pass with time, but this is all still, once again, newer to me. So it is a little bit of a struggle and a little bit of a concern at this point in time. And like I said, it's not really something that is necessarily a fact. Maybe it won't have any effect at all, but it's just these little things that do take getting used to. I hope this video was helpful in any way, shape, or form. Because at the end of the day, like I said, that's all I make these videos for, is just for someone to be able to relate to something and someone to be able to just trust their body, trust the process, and feel like they've done what is right for them and their body, because that's what this whole journey takes, and that's with anything. Whether that's with acne, underlying health issues, career, just anything, just really trusting that you are making those right choices for you and your body and just fully living by that. I'm just gonna leave you here, and I hope you have a beautiful morning, evening, night, wherever you may be. Just have a beautiful day today.